Persephone reaches for a flower, and the earth opens beneath her. Hades carries her into the underworld as she cries for her mother. Demeter hears the cry. For 9 days, she searches with burning torches. Then Helios reveals the truth. Zeus allowed Hades to take Persephone. Demeter abandons Olympus and hides among mortals. She refuses to let the earth grow until her daughter returns. Famine spreads, and a mother's grief becomes a crisis even Zeus cannot ignore. The day the earth opened. Before the world became barren, it was flowering. In the Homeric hymn to Demeter, Persephone is gathering blossoms with the daughters of ocean in a meadow. Roses, crocuses, violets, irises, and hyacinths cover the ground. Then she sees a narcissus unlike the others, astonishing enough to draw both hands toward it. The flower is a trap. As Persephone reaches down, the earth splits open. Hades, lord of the dead and brother of Zeus, bursts from below in a chariot drawn by immortal horses. He seizes Persephone against her will and drives toward the underworld. She screams. Her voice crosses the mountains and the sea. Persephone calls to Zeus, but the arrangement has already been made. The hymn says Zeus gave her to Hades without Demeter taking part in the decision. That absence is the wound at the center of the story. Demeter is not mourning a natural separation. Her daughter has been taken, and the mother who should have had a voice in Persephone's fate was excluded from the bargain. Demeter hears Persephone's cry, but she does not know where her daughter has gone or who has taken her. She tears the covering from her hair, throws a dark cloak over her shoulders, and moves across the earth searching. The goddess who makes grain rise from the soil now has only one purpose: find Persephone. If you enjoy Greek mythology told as a living story, please like, share, and leave a comment. Your support helps gods and heroes Unveiled keep bringing the gods, heroes, mysteries, and tragedies of the ancient world back to life. 9 days with torches. For 9 days, Demeter wanders with burning torches in her hands. She does not taste ambrosia. She does not drink nectar. She does not stop to bathe. The immortal goddess moves through the mortal world like someone who has forgotten every need except the missing person she loves. No god tells her the truth. No mortal tells her the truth. On the 10th dawn, Hecate comes to Demeter. Hecate heard Persephone cry, but she did not see who carried her away. Together they go to Helios, the sun, whose position in the sky makes him a witness to what happened. Helios finally tells Demeter what the others have not. Hades took Persephone, and Zeus consented. For Demeter, this changes grief into anger. Her daughter is not merely lost in some unknown place. The rulers of the cosmos arranged a marriage that removed Persephone from her mother and placed her in the realm of the dead. Helios tries to persuade Demeter that Hades is no unworthy husband by divine standards. He is Zeus's brother, a powerful god with his own kingdom and honors. But status is not what Demeter is asking about. She wants her daughter. The answer from Olympus is effectively that the arrangement is legitimate. Demeter refuses to accept legitimacy as comfort. Her sorrow becomes more terrible. She withdraws from the gods, leaves Olympus behind, hides her divine appearance, and begins walking through human cities in the form of an old woman. The goddess of cultivated earth vanishes into the world that depends on her. The goddess who hid at Eleusis. Demeter eventually reaches Eleusis in Attica. She sits beside a well, disguised as an elderly woman, far from the splendor expected of an Olympian goddess. The daughters of King Celeus find her there and bring the stranger into their household. Inside the palace, Demeter meets Queen Metanera. The queen offers her a fine seat, but Demeter remains silent until a simpler stool is placed for her. She covers her face and sits without smiling, without eating, almost without participating in the room around her. For a moment, the myth becomes extraordinarily quiet. This is not Demeter commanding harvests or confronting Zeus. It is a mother sitting among strangers because she cannot return to the life she had before her daughter disappeared. Then Iambe, a woman in the household, begins joking with her. Somehow, briefly, Demeter smiles. The scene does not end her grief. Persephone is still gone, but the hymn allows one small human interruption inside divine sorrow. Metanera then asks the stranger to care for her late-born son, Demophon. Demeter accepts. The goddess who has lost her own child now takes another mother's child into her arms. She treats Demophon unlike any mortal nurse. She does not feed him in the ordinary way. She anoints him with ambrosia, breathes sweetness over him, and each night begins a mysterious process intended to remove his mortality. Metanera does not know that the old woman in her house is Demeter. She also does not know how close her son is coming to a fate no mortal child normally receives. The child in the fire. At night, Demeter places Demophon within the power of the hearth fire, concealing what she is doing from his parents. The image is shocking to a mortal mother, but the hymn is clear about Demeter's purpose. She is not trying to destroy the child. She is making him grow beyond ordinary human limits, and she would have made him ageless and immortal. Then Metanera sees them. She cries out in terror. From her point of view, a stranger has placed her child in deadly danger. From Demeter's point of view, fear has interrupted a transformation that cannot be restarted. Demeter reacts with anger. She removes Demophon from the fire and reveals what Metanera has prevented. The child will now remain mortal. Then the disguise falls away. Old age leaves Demeter's body. Divine beauty and light fill the room. The grieving stranger beside the well is revealed as one of the great Olympian goddesses. Demeter orders the people of Eleusis to build her a temple and altar. She promises to teach them the rites by which they may honor her. The household obeys. A sanctuary rises for Demeter, and the goddess takes her place within it. But the temple does not mean reconciliation. Demeter remains separated from Olympus. She remains separated from Persephone. And now her private grief begins to alter the physical world. The goddess of grain does not need an army to challenge Zeus. She only needs to stop doing what the world has always depended on her to do. The year nothing grew. The next year becomes a disaster. Seeds remain hidden beneath the earth. Oxen drag plows through fields, but the furrows give nothing back. Grain falls into the soil and does not rise. The goddess associated with the fertility of cultivated land has withdrawn her gift. The hymn describes a crisis large enough to threaten the human race with famine, but the danger does not stop with mortals. If humans die, the sacrifices and honors offered to the gods disappear with them. That is when Olympus can no longer treat Demeter's grief as a private matter. Zeus sends Iris to summon her. Demeter refuses. Then the other gods come, one after another, offering gifts and honors if she will return to Olympus. Demeter refuses them too. Her demand is simple. She will not restore the harvest until she sees Persephone with her own eyes. This is the turning point of the myth. Demeter has almost no control over the agreement Zeus made with Hades. She cannot simply walk into the underworld and reverse the order of the cosmos. But she controls something the other gods failed to value until it disappeared. Life above the ground. Her grief becomes leverage. Fields empty. Hunger spreads. The honors of Olympus are threatened. What the gods were willing to call a settled arrangement is suddenly unsettled. Zeus must respond. He sends Hermes, the divine messenger, down into the kingdom of Hades with an order. Persephone must be allowed to return so that Demeter will release the earth from famine. Hermes goes below. Hermes descends from the bright world of the living into the mist and darkness below. There he finds Hades and Persephone. By this point, Persephone is no longer simply the girl in the flower meadow. She has crossed the boundary between worlds. Hades speaks to her as a queen of his realm and tells her she may return to Demeter. Persephone rejoices, but before she leaves, Hades gives her pomegranate to eat. The Homeric hymn does not present this as an innocent snack. Hades gives it stealthily, and when Persephone later tells Demeter what happened, she says he compelled her to eat it. That small piece of fruit changes the settlement. Hermes brings Persephone upward. The journey reverses the opening of the story. She was carried downward in Hades' chariot while crying out. Now a divine messenger leads her back toward the mother who has refused to let the world continue without her. Demeter sees Persephone. The distance collapses. Mother and daughter run toward one another and embrace. For a moment, the famine, Olympus, Hades, and the arguments of gods disappear behind a reunion the entire hymn has been moving toward. But Demeter immediately understands there may be a condition. She asks whether Persephone ate anything below. Persephone tells her about the pomegranate. The reunion is real. So is the bond to the underworld. The pomegranate divides the year. The solution is not a complete return to the life that existed before the meadow opened. Zeus establishes a division. According to the Homeric hymn, Persephone will spend 1/3 of the year beneath the earth and the other 2/3 with Demeter and the other gods. That detail is important because the ancient story is often reduced to a simple sentence. Demeter creates winter because she misses Persephone. The hymn gives us something more complicated. The earth's barrenness begins as Demeter's deliberate refusal to let crops grow while Persephone is withheld from her. The final agreement then connects reunion, separation, and the recurring agricultural year. Persephone belongs to two worlds now. She is Demeter's daughter, returning to the upper world with joy. She is also queen beside Hades in the realm below. The myth does not erase what happened to her by pretending the ending restores the beginning. The girl who gathered flowers cannot simply become exactly who she was before the earth opened. Demeter cannot keep her daughter beside her forever. Hades cannot keep Persephone below forever. Even Zeus, who approved the original arrangement, is forced to negotiate around Demeter's refusal. The result is a cosmos built around return rather than permanent possession. Part of the year contains absence. Part contains reunion. And the world above learns to live inside that rhythm. When the world grows again. Once the settlement is secured, Demeter releases the earth. Fields that had remained barren can grow again. The power hidden beneath the soil returns to the surface. Grain, the foundation of human life in the ancient Mediterranean world, becomes the visible sign that the crisis between the gods has changed. Demeter also gives Eleusis something that survives beyond the famine. She reveals sacred rites to chosen figures of the city, establishing the religious tradition that later Greeks associated with the Eleusinian mysteries. The hymn ends not only with a restored harvest, but with Demeter and Persephone joined to a sacred promise about human life, death, and divine favor. And only here, after the myth has completed its journey, does Demeter's grief become recognizable outside ancient Greece. Most of us will never stop crops from growing because someone we love is gone. But loss can still change the landscape we experience. Grief does not need divine power to alter what a place feels like. A street can still be crowded and feel empty because one person is missing. A song can remain the same and become difficult to hear. The outside world keeps moving while your own sense of time seems to stop. A familiar room feels wrong. A holiday feels quieter. Food has less taste. Places that once meant joy become reminders. The world continues, yet somehow it no longer feels like the same world. That is the human truth inside Demeter's myth, not a replacement for it. The Homeric hymn makes grief enormous enough to become agriculture, famine, divine politics, ritual, and the movement between the worlds of living and dead. But it also gives grief an answer that is neither forgetting nor pretending nothing happened. Return does not erase separation. Growth does not erase winter. Demeter receives Persephone again, but she receives a daughter who now belongs to a larger and darker story than before. And still, when Persephone returns, the earth can grow. If this journey through Demeter and Persephone made the ancient world feel alive, please like, share, and leave a comment. And tell us which god, hero, monster, tragedy, mystery, or forgotten myth you want gods and heroes unveiled to explore next. Who made your world feel different simply because they were no longer in it?